What's up, everybody? It's the Anime Observer. I am finally back with another video, and this time I'm going to be talking about the first part of the anime Monster. Now, this review is going to be from episode 1 through about episode 23, I think is where I'm at. It's just going to be kind of a brief overview and what I think so far, and I'll probably do more sections until I complete it. This anime is 80 episodes long, so it should be about 4 parts. Anyway, let's get started. So, for those of you who don't know, Monster is about a Dr. Tenma, who is an extremely talented surgeon, and he's working at a hospital in Germany, and he's rising through the ranks, and he's going to really be something at this hospital, and then if something happens, basically, it's not really a spoiler, so I'll tell you. He is told to operate on this opera singer because he's famous, instead of operating on a Turkish man who was a construction worker. And the Turkish man dies, and his child and wife were upset over this, and the woman came to him and started screaming at him and blaming him for her husband's death, because she knew that if he would have operated on him, then he would have survived, and the Turkish man was there first, so she blamed him for it. Well, this kind of started showing Tenma the political aspect of the hospital, and how it's not for the betterment of the people as much as it is for the betterment of the people who own the hospital. So he's not very happy with that, and basically he talks to his boss, and he doesn't talk to him necessarily directly about this. I believe he's having dinner with him because Tenma is engaged with his boss's daughter. So he's having dinner, and they start discussing the hospital and things, and the director brings up this incident with the Turkish man dying, and this is when he really starts to see that these people aren't actually there to save lives, because Tenma, his entire goal is to, save people, and he thinks that should be what doctors are about. And then the director is essentially telling him that the hospital is supposed to be about medical advances and medical research before people's lives. And so this is when he really starts to get at odds with him. And then later an incident happens, and he winds up trying to save another man instead of saving the mayor who died, and then everyone blames him. And they basically say that he's never going to advance in his career at this hospital because he disobeyed this order and let the mayor die. So he thinks that his career is ruined. Well, he's been working on this one case where this child's parents were murdered. Actually, there were 2 children. There was a twin brother and sister, and their parents were murdered. And he's been taking care of them and everything. And then he's suddenly not over them anymore. They switched their doctor to someone else who is not as competent as Tenma, so now he is basically doing nothing, and he's not in charge of anything important. And things start to go really wrong when the police start trying to investigate these children and things. And basically people start dying, and nobody knows exactly what's happening, but people start blaming Tenma, because as soon as he was at odds with the director died, along with a couple of other surgeons or doctors at the hospital that Tenma was at odds with. So basically he's the only one that would have anything to gain from their deaths, so people think it's him. Well, obviously it's not him. Nobody knows who it is. Nobody has any idea. And as you go through a little while in, it's not very long, you'll start to find out, who is actually behind all the murders and everything like that, and that's actually not that far into the show. But what's really interesting is, even though you do find out who is actually behind all of these murders, there are constant revelations as to why and exactly what is happening. There's all kinds of things in this show. There are neo-Nazis, and crazy detectives and just all kinds of things. You really wouldn't expect it, but it's quite the grand adventure for me only being 20 episodes into it. I'm pretty impressed, actually, as to what's taken place. And it's kind of confusing, not necessarily to understand, but to explain. It's pretty difficult. So if this has been kind of confusing, I'm sorry, because I really don't know a better way to explain it. Because there are multiple plots going on at the same time. There's probably at least 3 at any given time. So I find it really, really interesting, and the fact that there are multiple plots going on at the same time just keeps me even more interested and keeps me wanting to watch more of it. And so this is something I would definitely recommend. It's a psychological thriller, basically. It's kind of verging on horror in certain ways, but I wouldn't really classify it as that. It's also kind of a drama. It's got elements of a lot of things, and it may actually turn into some action as you get further in it, because where I'm at, things are starting to pick up, and there's actually more physical action going on now. So it's interesting, for sure, and they've definitely thrown in a lot of good elements from different genres of anime, and they've also made it very cinematic instead of making it just kind of storytelling. It's that, as well as it's really captivating visually, and the story is great. So there's really not that much bad about this, other than some things seem way too dramatic. That's really my only problem with it, is that, as well as things tie together very, very neatly in a way that is somewhat ridiculous. But that's kind of what you're going to get from any psychological thriller, as well as pretty much any anime in general, that everything would not add up in real life. So, but that's okay, because it's not real life. So, I think I'm going to start rambling, so I'm going to cut it off here. And basically, about 23 episodes in, a lot is going on, and I can't really tell you too much in depth without spoiling it, because a lot of things happen. So in the next part, I might actually be giving away some spoilers, so if you haven't seen through 20, watch it before I make another one, which will probably be in a week or two. And I'd love to hear what you think on this, if you've seen it before, or if you haven't, what did you think of the video? Is there anything that you want me to watch or review? I'm thinking of actually reviewing Katawa Shoujo, which is a visual novel, or an eroge novel that I read, and I don't really know if I want to do a review on it, so if anybody wants me to, leave a comment. I don't really expect anybody to, but anyway, this seems like a really crappy video. I'm done for now, and it's Anime Observer, signing out.